Hello, all you beautiful people. This is Blake for the Beautiful Game. Before this episode gets started, I just wanted to let you know that we recorded this episode before the North London Derby, and I just wanted to make sure that, one, I got to say London is red, and the weekend ends with Arsenal above Tottenham, and all is well with the world, as it should be. And also let you know, if you're new to listening to the show, that Moo Thunder is a really terrible beer that grossed us out, and we've used it in bets before. That might come up in the episode a little bit later. Oh, yeah. By the way, London is red. London is red. Welcome to the Beautiful Game. As always, I am Blake here with Ferris.
Hola.
And for the first time in the same time zone as us in like quite some time, we got Ron.
It's been a year and a half. What's happening?
That's right. Ron is
jet lagged out of my mind.
6 days out of Beijing. His eyes are crossed. We'll see.
On Canadian soil.
Yeah, and on some Canadian soil right now before he makes his way back down to sunny Central Florida. So I'm curious to see what we get out of Ron for this episode.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be lovely.
You said you've been sleeping from 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. lately?
So, yeah, the jet lag's been pretty rough. And my first night, because I'd traveled 36 hours, my first night here, I slept great. It was like 12 hours end to end, no problems. Every other night has been a sliding scale of how many times I'm going to wake up and when. I think the earliest I fell asleep was 6:30 at night Eastern, and woke up at like 3 or 4, and then you're just wide awake, you know. So, you know, it's slowly switching back. It takes a couple of days, but, you know, just is what it is, jet lag. But I'm not going to complain. I'm sitting in a cottage off Georgian Bay. There's a river that flows out behind the cottage I'm staying in. And it's quite lovely. All the great craft beer I can drink from two of my favorite breweries are right down the road. It's quite nice.
Is one of those, was it Forefathers? Or four?
That's one of them.
All right, Forefathers. I remember that one. You had that on.
Yeah.
And the other one is Flying Monkeys. Remember, we had that chocolatey Christmas beer.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was a tasty one.
Yeah. That's right.
So life is good. My fiance's family got together and got us, basically made care packages for us because we're in quarantine here in Canada.
Did we mention that on the pod that Ron's engaged now? Did that something that even came up?
Congrats.
I know it's been so wild because you've been overseas, but I'm like, did we talk about that in the show?
No, I don't think that happened.
Oh.
Beautiful congratulations to the both of you. Mazel tov. Good things.
Well, we did, I know we did some Christmas talks and Christmas beer. I'm like, did that happen on the pod? And I can't remember for the life of me.
Oh, I don't remember.
Well, just because, this year is a black hole for time. 1 day equals 4 months. So it's a little hard to remember.
Yeah. So anyway, they got together and made us care packages for us to be in quarantine here. And, I got 15 beers from Forefathers and Flying Monkeys. So
you lucky
I am
son of a
set.
Yeah, you are.
I love that. Was that the Four Monkeys? Was that the one that did the chocolate beer that we like so much? The brownie?
Flying Monkeys.
Flying Monkeys. Yeah. Sorry, Forefathers, Flying Monkeys. The reason I'm saying that is because to segue into our beer picks, I'll just say mine because it makes sense after those two. I have 3 daughters, so that's why
Forefathers, Flying
Monkey, and 3 daughters is what I'm drinking.
And then I have
today.
2 sons. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, I don't even know if that's a brewery or not.
I have a partridge in a pear tree.
Wait, it's not the Boxing Day episode yet. Not yet.
So you have
well, it's this time of year. So I have 3 daughters. Oktoberfest. They're Martin. This is a family-owned, operated brewery in St. Pete, Florida, which we have had before. But I have never had their Oktoberfest, and this is that time of year where my beer fridge gets real full because if it's an Oktoberfest I've never had, I get it, or it's one of my favorites, which there's a lot. I get it. Sierra Nevada got a new one this year, very good. But this one, it's a traditional style. This smooth amber lager traces its noble roots to the brew once celebrated every year in Bavaria, reimagined for Oktoberfest under the bright Florida sun. Bready sweetness up front leads to a crisp and dry finish thanks to the noble hops.
Yum.
Boom.
Awesome. Sounds good.
I love Oktoberfest beer. I even have my German Paulaner little Oktoberfest mug ready to roll.
Nice. What you got, Ferris?
The one thing about still working at a brewery from time to time is I got a lot of beer. Whether it's actually from the reduced cost that I'm able to get it through from Big Storm or the various beer exchanges, that one bartender will bring in and be like, hey, I just went to such and such. Here's a 4-pack, let's share it, and we'll just do can exchanges and stuff. And even some of our customers that come in that kind of brewery hop will even bring in a can or two. So I got stuff from all over. However, I will stay home and I will do something that we are currently doing at Big Storm at the moment. It's our category series. So it's our Belgium series that we do every year.
Oh,
it's
very popular announcement.
We get all 5 on tap, I believe. Still, I haven't been in there in a while, but you get a card and you get all 5. And then you get this nice, and I should get one because I work there and we won't sell out of all of them, but a gold brim sniffer glass. Gold brim. It has Big Storm gold. Looks nice. But so we have category 1, which is our Belgium single. Category 2, our Belgium double. And one of Ron's favorite styles is what I have, a Belgian triple.
Oh, yes.
And we go all the way up to a Belgium quintuple that is like 16%.
Dude.
That is tasty.
How has there never been a Florida brewery to think of the idea of doing single, doubles, and quads and stuff through the category hurricane like system?
That's been Big Storm for years. Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's awesome. And the category 3 is probably my favorite out of all of them. It's as the hurricane, if you go to bigstormbrewery.com and you go to the beer section, category 3, Belgian triple. As hurricanes grow stronger with each category, so does the Big Storm Belgium series. Category 3 has a higher alcohol content and features a yellow to deep golden color with a creamy white head. Citrusy esters are present with a slight note of banana as the beer laces the glass. Our triple has become at 9%.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
This is, as one of our famous taglines, Florida's craft beer forecast.
So
Love it.
When I get back, I want to do a blind taste test between that and Carmelite and see if I can pick them out.
Oh, I do like some Carmelite.
We should. If you care, we discussed when you might get to Orlando. We might still have the Belgium series on, maybe. If not, I got a couple of cans in there of this for you.
Oh, awesome! I love triples.
And I'll see if I can snag we should have a couple more Cat 5s in there as well that I'll snag.
Nice.
So what you got, Ron?
Well, no surprise. Mine's from Flying Monkeys. And Flying Monkeys is, man, I just love the mindset of this brewery. If you go to flyingmonkeys.ca, you can check out all the crazy cool artwork. Their tagline, leading the Ontario craft beer revolution since 2004, brewing radical beers and creative ales right on the waterfront in downtown Barrie. The Flying Monkeys was the first Ontario craft brewery to truly usher in a new culture of craft brewing in the province. Always believing that normal is weird, we treat brewing as an art and are proud to be part of the culture of craft beer, uniting folks from all over Ontario and Canada and the world. Bum, 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 bum. They're just cool. I just like these guys. I have a beer called the Freak Show Crush.
They always have cool can art too.
It's a hazy IPA.
Can you-
There,
thank you.
there it is. I had it on the wrong side.
Nice.
It's a hazy IPA, and it's I've never had it, but it's 6.3 on the ABV. It's dry hopped with Azaka, CTZ, and Matuka hops.
Matuka hops.
Bless you.
Yeah. And the old standby malts of pale 2-row honey malt and toasted wheat flakes. Mm-mm. Can't wait
Dang,
to
that
try
sounds
this.
good. I feel like
That
we got
sounds-
3
yeah.
winners here.
Well, as the sign behind me says, gents, Beautiful Games Neighborhood Bar. Come early, stay late. We are doing a 8-night pod.
There you go.
So bottoms up.
All together. If one of us isn't drinking beer in the morning, finally.
I know. We don't have to do the 12-hour time dance.
It's always good getting a little bit of foam right on the windscreen of the mic.
Yeah, it adds some flavor to your home studio.
The flavor enhancer.
I'm pouring it in a sniffer glass. Should be nice and warmed up a bit too.
Ooh, I can smell the hops from here. Ooh.
Oh man, I got a nice big chunk of head
Nice
on
head
this,
there too, yeah.
just like you're supposed to with an Oktoberfest. So I will. I'll show you my. Got that traditional German.
Nice.
Ready to roll. I just need that person carrying like the 20 on the trail or on the tray. All right,
Feel the
gents.
rhythm, feel the line.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Cheers.
Yes.
That is a good Belgian triple.
So, this is a phenomenal hazy IPA. Smells great, color's good, nice lacy head retention. One interesting thing that I'd never heard another brewery do is on the can, it tells you that about 5 minutes before you serve it, you should roll the can
Is that for the
To
yeast?
to ensure to get all the sediment out of the
Yep.
bottom.
Yeah, because some on style, you don't want that, right? You want the clarity if you're bottle
Right.
conditioned. And then I know wheat beers and stuff, right? That's wheat beer, right? Wheat beers and sometimes Belgian wits or
Right.
that way, where you.
Are supposed to be that unfiltered look.
Well, this one's delicious, man. Bready and crisp. Not too sweet. I don't like a Martin that's too sweet. This is good.
And this Belgium, excuse me, is your traditional just Abbey style, and there are just a little hint of banana in there with a very nice mouthfeel that's not too robust with that 9%. I've had it before, obviously, but I
just
thought it was
love
quite appropriate for
The
time of year.
difference in Ferris's reviews since working at a craft brewery. I'm like, dang, I gotta catch up, man. Like, look at
Fake it till you make it, baby.
Feel, and he just sounds so good, so correct over there. I gotta
I'm
catch
really
up.
excited to get back to the States because now I can keep going on that Cicerone thing. I couldn't advance because I was in China.
Yep. I actually, through the brewery, I think I can do the Cicerone 1, and they will pay for it.
Do it.
So
It is.
I think I'm going to when things settle down a little bit.
It's really worth it. It's a lot of studying for the history and profiles of different beers, right? So they'll give you all the histories. They'll go over every type of beer in the world, and they'll give you all the flavor characteristics, color, all that kind of stuff. And then your test is mostly on color and characteristics of beer. So they'll give you a glass, and the hint is in the glass, and then they'll start giving you stats on the beer, and you have to figure out which one it is. It's quite an intense test for your first one.
Yeah, that's what I heard, and there are a couple breweries in town that will put you through that, and I think it's one where you pay for it up front, and then they cut you a check afterwards. But something I'm definitely interested in, and once we start to brew up here, I want to have it done beforehand. I don't know how often I'll be there nowadays, but I'm still there.
Well, definitely when I get back, we are going to have to do a bit of home brew.
Yes.
Yeah, it'd be fun. As soon as we get the brew system in, the one that I'm going to be helping out with is a Mexican lager, of course.
Ooh, heck yeah.
That we are planning.
That's exciting.
Smaller batch, but
that's right up your alley.
In time, yep. The possible head brewer for up here, who's one of our bartenders, we had talked about it. And once we get the 3 barrel in there, I said, the only thing I want to help you with, I will do it at any time.
Cerveza.
Mexican lager.
I mean, that's Ferris Cerveza. It's just a great name.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There you go.
Oh, Ferris wheel Cerveza. That's what you need. Yeah, man. That's what you need.
Yes.
Like, you got like a
Ferris wheel.
You got like a Ferris wheel with like the colors of the Mexican flag or something in it. That's there you go. There's your logo.
Everybody gets a ride with Ferris Cerveza.
That's right.
Oh, we shared that picture a few weeks ago.
Oh man, when we were at the Orlando City Soccer Stadium, or not even, it was still the Citrus Bowl at that time, and we met a lady named Bree, and she was like, "My name's Bree, like the cheese. You're a tall fella." And Ferris like, "My name is Ferris, like the wheel." Without missing the beat, she was like, "Can I get a ride?"
It was
look
on
on
one
your
of face.
face.
What were we waiting?
Because she was with another dude. She was with another dude there. And then she has to take a picture with you.
To the wind, and she wasn't having. I mean, she was kind of cute, but just comes strolling and like puts her arm around my waist because she's so small, thinking that she knows me. And I kind of look down. I'm like, oh, hi there, and she just like drunkenly slurs. I'm Brie like the cheese, thinking that she's like very like hey, and then I said, "Hi, I'm Ferris, like the wheel. Can I go for a ride?" And I was like instant with it. Nope.
See, I don't.
It was weird.
See, but I'm Ferris like the wheel. That sounds cool. I'm Brie like the cheese. It's like creamy and runny when hot. Like I don't know.
Oh, that could go all sorts of
yeah, a little bit smelly.
It's like, it's just not camembert. I don't know. That's weird.
Well,
we were there for the soccer and not for Brie.
Yeah.
And that's what we should be doing right now.
Wait, hey, one last thing before we move on. When you create the can art, there had better be a Ferris wheel, and she has to be in one of the cars.
Yes.
100%.
Or just like a wedge of brie cheese. It's like in the distance that you can't see. You're like, what is that? What is that doing in there?
100%.
I love it. Oh my God, that makes me happy. I'm so glad we're so soon we're all going to be together and be able to do this ridiculousness live. Well, not live, but in person. Actually go to a soccer game together again. Oh my God, that would be great. So we're going to talk a little Premier League. I like Ferris to set up the 5 burning questions. Speaking of Brie, 5 burning questions of the Premier League after 5 matches played, with including our first international break.
A lot's happened since our Premier League preview.
Yeah.
Oh man, so much. CR7 joined Manchester United.
Cristiano Ronaldo in, Ole out. That's what the Twitter says.
Not happened. Not yet. Not yet. We will get to old Cristiano, though.
Yeah, Arsenal have proved pretty much like
we'll get
Ferris,
to them too,
Ferris and I. All right, well, let's just get right to the questions.
Number 1, is Lukaku the missing piece to what Chelsea have needed to win the Premier League again? I already told you in our prediction episode, I picked them to win it. And the answer is yes. I think any other team pays what they paid for Lukaku in the Premier League. Any team. And it doesn't make sense. I think it makes sense for Chelsea because he slots into this system for Tuchel so
we bought him
well.
for either the same amount or more a few years back, and he didn't do squat for us.
Do you guys remember? Someone actually, it was like 4 years ago. I saw one of those things on Facebook that said you did this 4 years ago. Shared that video of that joke from Britain, that comedian that was like different clubs ordering beer at the bar. And when he walks up to Chelsea jersey, he's like, hello, I'm thinking that pint of beer I had 2 years ago that I got rid of, but I drank half of it. I think I rate it now, and I like to pay 3 times what I paid for it then to have it now.
Yep.
Yeah. True story.
Pretty much.
I love the Arsenal one. I want a Carlsberg. That'd be five pounds. What? No. Just give me something nobody's ever heard of. Mate, it'll work itself out. Like it's such a good sketch.
You know what? I tell you what though. I as much as I hate saying it. I think he possibly could be that piece because look at what they did last transfer window with Frank. They went in for Timo Werner, who was supposed to be what Lukaku essentially is, and banging in goals and being able to play up there on his own. And he certainly didn't do that last year. But Chelsea, with mainly their midfield, anytime you got N'Golo Kante in midfield, you just don't lose. I mean, it's pretty much. I mean, stats pretty much show that he's a legend. But with their midfield of him, Kovacic, and the Italian bloke that dyed his hair freaking blonde like everybody else in the world.
Hey, man, you got to do it.
Jorginho.
Yeah.
And then you have not the best defense in my opinion, but they're solid. They're solid. Good goaltending and good wing play with Mount and Havertz and Pulisic, and you have all of that. You just needed somebody to really get at the end of those balls. And so far, Lukaku has done that. He's a big lad, so he's able to he knows the Premier League, so he's able to kind of bully around some of the defenders with more experience because he's been in the league before. He's been there. So I think he possibly could be that missing piece. And I also think a sneaky good signing that they brought in that I don't think we went over at the time was Saul. On loan from champion Atletico Madrid over in La Liga. I think he's going to be a key asset for them as well this year.
Yeah, I agree. Lukaku has done just as much to spread the ball around as he has to score. And he's got 14 shots on target from inside the box in his 4 appearances, and he's got 4 goals from it, which is 28.5% conversion rate, and that's the highest in the Premier League currently. So he is definitely pushing his weight around in the box and making it happen.
It is a, I'll say it's sneaky signing. Or an obvious signing, but it is a good signing from them, especially with Tuchel there, that you finally get the number 9 that you've been looking for.
You actually have a striker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, not being funny, that was something that was kind of had been missing, was like that striker, and like, who are they going to get? And there you go. And hey, give Frank Lampard a little credit. This is mostly his team he put together at this point,
he didn't put. No.
There's a lot of stuff he put in here.
He did not put it together.
I'm just saying Tuchel picked up the pieces and added a couple of pieces.
Out on the yacht in the English Channel that probably still can't come in is the one, or whoever their technical advisor is, because you can't tell me that Lampard was the good soldier that was there for years and years and years, and kind of just said, okay, yeah, I'll do the best I can with the, what was that? They had like 6 signings last year. They overhauled, and we were sitting here talking, that's a lot of change to a club that really didn't need a whole lot of change. That's Frank. Well, then there's a reason he got sacked. But I don't think he was the one behind all of those. I think that's a lot to do with Chelsea's back of house staff.
Yeah, that's a tough thing. We're never really going to know the answer.
Still signed under Frank.
I think it's probably half and half. You know, Frank had his specific vision for where the team needed to go, and perhaps that aligned well with the front office management. Who knows? But either way, the pieces have shaken out to be quite effective and give us a lot of depth on the bench. If Timo Werner. Timo Werner has started getting a little better on his scoring. If that guy can start getting a good run of form, man, it's going to be tough to beat Chelsea. I mean, it already is, but it's going to be worse.
I think of all the teams 1 through 6, maybe I'll leave Brighton Hove out of this. I think Chelsea is the hardest to beat in that list right now.
Well, statistically, it's Manchester City still. Chelsea's what is that stat? It's like the goals to give away, goals to concede. And Man City has like 2.5 goals. Man, I have to go look that up. Sorry, I'm botching the stat. But Manchester City has the best defense in the league. Chelsea is right below them.
Yeah, but Man City has lost to Tottenham and drawn to Southampton.
Well,
So
why don't we go ahead and skip to question number 4?
Should Man City have dropped $160 million to get Harry Kane? I don't think they'd be any better off at this point.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Well, I don't know that I don't think, and this isn't knocking Harry Kane. I just mean the way that Lukaku is set up very well to fit into what Tuchel's doing. I don't know if Harry Kane is. You would say that about him with Man City?
100% you can.
Really?
He would have been.
They should have got
In my
Cristiano
opinion,
Ronaldo and upped a little bit more.
More lethal Aguero. Think about the level of service the only service he gets from Tottenham's bunch is from Son, and he also led the team in assists last year for Tottenham. Kane did. You flip the switch and you have the likes of the Silvas Silva now, Silva, Foden, Gundogan, Fernandinho, De Bruyne.
The only thing,
Grealish playing you balls in the box. All you gotta do is just get on the end of them.
The only signing,
he's the person I want on the end of a ball coming into the box.
The only signing I'm very upset they did not make was Lionel Messi. Not that I want him at Man City, but to have gotten Messi at Man City and United to have Ronaldo would have been friggin' amazing.
Messi's a little boy. He
annoying.
Can't even. We'll get to it in La Ligas, but you gotta go over and play in the easiest. Do you know that their coefficient over in France? They are now the 6th best league in the world?
Yeah, they're not.
The Dutch Portugal overtook them.
Yeah, but to be honest, none of those other leagues can afford Messi. So why not go to an easy league where you can earn a boatload of money and not have to play nearly as hard?
That's where he wants to go. He doesn't want any sort of competition.
That's going to throw you so much. The only club that would throw that much money would be Man City. So, I mean, I think that's what had. I'm just saying that would have been crazy. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Harry Kane. I don't know. Look, there's several seasons where he's kind of dry at the beginning of the season. Some glass ankles from time to time. You drop 160 million, then he gets. I don't know, man. I don't have the feeling about him in that team like I would when I heard Lukaku was getting signed in. I was like, ugh, that's going to make Chelsea very tough because he's. So,
here's why I think they would be in a better spot, assuming the health of all the players is okay, right? They have Jack Grealish out on a wing, and that guy is solely responsible for how many more crosses are put into the box from wing play on Man City. In previous years, they have not had a winger as good as Jack Grealish. So he is just bombing balls into the box, and if there's, like Ferris just said, Harry Kane is the person you want on the end of it.
Is Harry Kane going there in January?
No.
Probably not.
You don't think?
No.
Not a possibility?
Not after the debacle that just happened in the summer. I think he would only go
Was it a debacle? Did they actually make... I mean, they didn't really truly make an offer, right? It was just
I think it just did this speculation, the way that Kane didn't show up to training, the way that Levy held out for as much as he could have, I think that's a lot of it. The reason Kane hasn't been scoring so far for Tottenham, I think between that happening in the summer and then playing a crap ton of games in the Euros, there's a lot on him. There's just a lot of weight, on him at the moment. And I think his mind was really, at one point, we obviously don't know, we're not in his mind, but you would be hard pressed not to say that his head wasn't turned from going to the champions of the league and winning trophies that you've never won before. And I think that's a little bit telling so far in how usually Kane has a good August, sucks in September, but he's done nothing, just period.
Do you think Man City will snag somebody in January, though? They'll throw down ridiculous money on, some striker that's
only
floating
if
out there.
For them, only if it significantly helps their squad. Because right now they have a number 9 in Jesus. He's not the most.
I know Mbappe wants to go
to
Real Madrid, but if they could snag a guy like that,
but you essentially have a lot of number 10s, and you got to play a false 9. That's not a bad way of playing, and City can play that. And Barca did that for years, but that's kind of Pep's way. But in the end, Aguero is a big miss. He saved their butts a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. He won them their first league title several years back on that 90 plus minute goal that pipped them just above United the year before Sir Alex retired. They've always had somebody in front that has scored, at least since they've been good, and that somebody has always been Aguero. It's always either been Kane or Aguero in the league in terms of the number 9 that's going to score the most goals.
It just occurred to me, too, by the way, we are recording this on Friday before the matches on September 25th and 26th. Just as a heads up for those who are listening.
And who play tomorrow at 7:30 a.m.?
Chelsea, Man City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Who's gonna take this one?
2-1 Chelsea.
1-1.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a draw. I don't want it to be a draw. We need the 3 points.
So do they right now, though. They're what, down in?
Yes,
they're in 5th. That's like bottom of the table for Man City.
Yeah, right.
But ultimately, I think Chelsea are going to pull it off. I really do, because the stats are heavily in Chelsea's favor from the first 5 matches of the season. City lost 3 times to Chelsea in the final 6 weeks of last season, so that bitter sting is still there. One of them was for Champions League. Chelsea has yet to concede a goal from open play. We've only conceded 1 goal, as has Manchester City, but that was from open play. And I mean, we have fewer shots, but we make better use of the shots we have, right? So Chelsea currently, out of all games, all 5 games in the Premier League, 73 shots. We have 12 goals, which is a 16.5% conversion rate. Man City, 100 shots and only 11 goals, which is obviously 11%. So,
but since Boxing Day, that's as far as
only
I can get
Chelsea. Yeah, I gotta pull that stat back up for you.
Only Arsenal. Yeah. So I don't know. I think the thing that may hurt us tomorrow is that we are pretty heavy on the injuries, right? So Man City's just coming back. Man City's players are just coming back from injury. Kevin De Bruyne got play, was it midweek? In that complete drubbing 6-1 of Wycombe. and Mount, Pulisic, Timo Werner, and Mendy are all on the injured list. So that could...
Mendy was on the bench the last week, so I could see him coming back tomorrow. But it should be a good game because top to bottom, you guys are pretty much even. But what I think Chelsea have is that Lukaku, that number 9. Now, Lukaku doesn't normally show up in big games, though, so we're going to see how that goes.
That was true. However, I think going back and looking at stats for Lukaku in his time in Serie A, he was showing up for big games. When it comes to...
Ferris is making the best faces right now when Serie A got mentioned.
When it basically came down to the derby, he showed up huge, and that's basically the biggest.
Milan aren't any good.
That they were before. They're not now. So I don't know. I don't think it's as bad as when he was in Chelsea or Manchester United before.
Or Everton. He didn't show up in big games for them.
Right.
We'll
see. Think hopefully that's all gone.
We'll see. The real number 9, though, he's actually a number 7.
I want to, before you go there, I just want to throw in, because real quick, I'm going to say that Liverpool is surprising me a little bit. They're number 2. They're not in our little 5 questions here. Liverpool could be dangerous, and if I were Chelsea, I think I'm more worried about them than I am Man City.
Why, though?
They just like they're starting to come together and click a little bit.
2-word answer.
Why is that?
Van Dijk.
I mean, he's
back this year.
You're not wrong.
And they're a plus
11.
11 and goals against is only 1.
Yeah.
That's pretty. There's only 3 teams that right now have a goals against of 1, and that's Man City, as Ron was saying, Chelsea, as Ron was saying, and Liverpool.
N'Golo Kante
pretty damn good.
Or Van Dijk is to a defensive line as N'Golo Kante is to the midfield. Yes.
Fair enough.
And that would be, I think I just didn't feel like they were going to really push for it. But I don't know. 5 games in, I think I've changed my mind. And they are looking hungry and ready to roll. And maybe, they'd like to win a championship with fans in the stadium instead of what they had to do. So anyway, but Ferris, to get back to your 5 burning questions. Number 2 of yours was, can 36-year-old Cristiano Ronaldo win the Golden Boot?
Does anybody want to change their Golden Boot prediction right now? Because remember, he hadn't signed yet when we made that.
No, we don't get to change it.
Yes, we can. Well, new signings into the league. We weren't fully done. I think we can.
No, because then every week, every transfer window, we'd be able to fix our picks. Nope.
No.
In January, the odds of them
how about this?
Catching up.
How about this? Man United drops a bunch of money on Cristiano Ronaldo. They sell a bunch of jerseys. He wins the Golden Boot.
Oh, I already bought one,
but they don't crack the top 4. I think that is the prediction.
I think they'll definitely crack the top. They're more of a league team than they are a cup team, obviously, as we lost our first
hashtag Ole out already.
League.
They lost the Carabao Cup match. And Manchester United friends.
Thunder bet right now that Arteta will be out before Ole will be out.
I'll take you up on that one.
Really?
Yes. I was gonna throw that out there.
Do we have a Blue Thunder left?
We f***ing do, dude. Yes, we do.
Yes, I love the cousin from Blake, though. That's
yes, we do.
A Muth? All right.
Wow. That's a rare bit when Blake curses.
I'm just saying.
Accepted the bet.
I have been having this bet and went to this pot with it in my back pocket, ready to challenge and throw out. I'm so excited you did.
Let's go.
Because when they lost the Carabao Cup match to West Ham, right?
Well, we've been calling it for the past 5 years.
So, but I just love they did, and the Man U fans immediately on Twitter were like, hashtag Ole out. It's just further proof we'll never win a trophy of any kind with him at the helm. And I just got to thinking, man, what if he got canned before Arteta?
No way.
I would think that it would be a hysterical upside down universe. But I have to agree with Ferris. There is no way, with Manchester United currently sitting in third place, Arsenal sitting in 13th place on a -7 goal differential, there is no way that Ole gets canned before Arteta. No way.
And you have CR. Look what he has done. The man has returned to the prodigal son has returned to the Premier League.
Yeah.
And on his debut in the Premier League, or his return debut after, 16 years? Like, I remember where I was the day he left United. I know exactly where I was. And the defeat on my face was as big as any other Man United fan. I know exactly where I was the day he was signed.
Golden
16 years later,
Boot
18 years later,
is
whatever.
a trophy he gets to keep, not the team.
No, that's fair. Fine.
I'm just saying that
what he did on his debut, 2 goals on his return debut. He already has 4 goals since he's been back,
and the fans are already turning that fast on the leadership at the club.
What's that?
And the fans are already turning that fast after this return.
They're keyboard, idiots that can type into their phone faster than they can actually speak words. No, it's absolutely ridiculous.
They use talk to text.
Give him time. I got into this argument. Say what?
They use talk to text.
Talk to text. Yeah, sure. No, you got to give him a little bit of time because it's not. Okay, you now have Ole's team, right? You now have it. What you saw the other night was Mourinho's team. In the Caribou Cup, it was Mourinho's team. Lindelof, Bailly, Dalot.
Let's see. What are the headlines right now? Dreadful.
I'm sure it's
Man United Ole Gunnar Solskjaer streak that may end up with a sack.
Sorry. No,
and Ferris drinking a Moo Thunder.
It's gonna take a little bit of time. Now, I'm not saying that, but we are a better league team than we are a cup team. We are now the number 1. We hold the record for the most unbeaten games.
You know who Gary Neville
in the Premier
is?
League, back to back to back, the most unbeaten.
You know who Gary Neville is?
We are the best. You guys know who Gary Neville is.
You know what he had to say about it?
Gary Neville does a lot of shit on TV. The same with Jamie Carragher, who's a muppet, an absolute muppet. He never won when he played. Jamie, shut the up. At least Gary Neville won Premier Leagues and Champions League, like Gerrard. Surprised you didn't fall over yourself when you're trying to run back, you mother. Sorry, I got a little heated there. I apologize. I'm sure they're all very nice men.
And so,
don't get me started on Jamie character.
I wasn't. I was asking about Gary Neville. So
I don't care, but I went.
Gary
Neville,
I
went there.
And this is my point. You guys logically are throwing out what you're talking about between like Arteta and Ole. Ole's sitting at the table now. The difference, as Gary Neville points out right now, expectation. He is saying that the decision to re-sign Cristiano Ronaldo is make or break for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. If you throw down that money and you can't show anything for it,
100%,
he's out.
It's been 3 weeks since he signed, though. You got to give him a little bit of time, though. Come on.
Well, I mean, it's 3 weeks. He's already out of one tournament.
And lost in Carabao Cup and Champions League.
Yep,
the first game. But what did that have to do with Ole?
Well,
he didn't get sent off on a dumbass challenge. Yes, he did put in Lingard for Ronaldo in the
there you go.
Off, but he didn't pass the ball back to the goalie and give it right to the other team. So I don't blame him.
He sure does manage
as
the
much
team
for that. The team was put in a really crappy spot from a very poor challenge that was 100% a red by Wan-Bissaka. The other night, he started a completely different team. You now know what you have in terms of depth and the quality of depth that you have. We do have depth. I agree. Our second team is probably, I can go through that entire second team, and you would take over half of that second team on the first team at Arsenal today. 100% you would.
So the betting odds in Vegas
odds all
right
day.
now.
I don't want to hear more odds. Go ahead.
The betting odds in Vegas for Mikel Arteta are 5-2, and Ole Gunnar
Probably leads
Solskjaer
it. 7-2.
No, 40-1.
Hey, there we go. I like those. What, 7-2?
He's
5-2 for Arteta.
5-2.
That's pretty much. He breathes the wrong way. He's getting fired at this point.
You lost to the young boys.
Yep, I know. And the old man put a goal against him.
I just think that if you lose your next Champions League game or you get out early, I don't know, man. I think things could be.
If we don't
different.
make it to the knockout stages, then I could
I
could see
to where
late November pre-Boxing Day run sack.
My Christmas present will be you drinking
but
a
Arteta has to
Moo
survive
Thunder,
for
buddy.
2 months before that happens.
So you drinking a Moo Thunder. That'll be my Christmas present.
This time I'm just going to shotgun it. I'm not even going to worry about it. I'm shake.
Oh, no. You got to shake it up.
Maybe some ice cream.
Amazing.
But no, I don't. Could you win the? You know what? If you guys will allow me to change, I'll change it to him.
Oh, you can
Change what
in
to him?
parentheses.
The
You can.
Golden Boot. Right now, I have
Who do you have?
Bruno Fernandes, and each of you have Mohamed Salah. I like Bruno. I think he might provide to Ronaldo a little bit more. So
I don't think we should be able to change our season predictions.
Okay.
You can't change.
I will keep with
Because
You
every
gotta stick with
transfer window, somebody's going to start complaining about, well, I didn't know that person was
Look,
going to be brought
we
in.
already finally got you to figure out what a Lesterish's prediction is.
Oh, good Lord.
So-
Speaking of Leicester-ish prediction, question number 3. Here we go.
Yeah, that's a good segue.
Yeah.
Brighton, Hove, Albion. Wait, that can't possibly be. They can't be in fourth at the end of the season, can they? I mean, just seeing these suckers up in fourth place right now above Man City and Everton is kind of beautiful. So they
And Arsenal.
well, no, I'm talking your top 6, Europe. So we're talking about the top 6.
Conveniently
I left out Tottenham Hotspurs too, so I don't think that was fair. I did not say the Spurs.
Above Man City right now after 5 games. Wow.
Yeah, so
Right.
this was a club that we thought was going to get relegated last year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so
I think I said that they were going to get relegated this year.
you may have. I feel like
I can look that up.
I
I
can't
feel
remember.
like some of us
I can
predicted
look
it.
it up.
Now, look, they've got to. They're not going to end in the top 4, but if they can start the strong, they can avoid that relegation battle, basically, and stay alive and try to fight for like top 10. What do you got, Ferris? You see it?
Ron, you and I both had them going down.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
I mean, look, it's five games in. They could fall
Yeah,
apart,
well,
but
Yeah.
I'd say
As
that
Ferris said, it's a long season.
I'd say that offhand, Norwich, Burnley, Newcastle, and Leeds, all the bottom 4 clubs, though, right now say to me that they might just be far worse than Brighton Hove is, and no matter how far they fall, I don't think they'll fall that far.
I think Brighton will fall. I think they'll fall, and they'll probably end up in like the.
Oh, if they could beat
12.
the top 10, that would be so fantastic. If they could
for
hit that
them,
10 spot, that
100%
would be
would be.
so
That'd be-
awesome.
I'm really hoping
awesome.
Brentford stays on above the top 10.
Yeah.
It's always good
it's
to have
the bees,
the
man.
newly promoted teams stick around for a little bit.
It's the bees.
Well, it's that first season of not knowing what they're about. So that's what Bournemouth's captured on when they came in,
Sheffield.
is not knowing how Bournemouth played, and they play a lot of that same style that basically just take you to the wall. Look at what Leeds did last year. Just go out and attack. And, and do that.
Leeds
And it's just-
United is looking to have the same problem Sheffield did, where
Sheffield United,
its second
They
year.
came out and played this hybrid back 5 where their center backs are all of a sudden up putting a ball in the box. Like it you kind of throw teams off. Now it's a second year that you have to. You're seeing that now from a Leeds who's down there in 17th. Where they're off to. They haven't had the easiest schedule to start, but I think it's a long year.
But I think we all can agree: Norwich up and back out. That was at negative 12 goal differential 5 games in. I'd be astounded if they don't still end up in 20th place when it's all said and done.
Well, and we asked in our preview, will Brighton be in the Premier League next season? You know, and to see them in 4th right now, you could easily take a complete turn and say, 100% they're going to be in the league.
Oh, should we change our predictions, Ferris?
They could drop like a.
It's 5 games in. Should we change our predictions since Brighton's doing better? According to the way you do these rules?
No, that's not a fair comparison. We did not know that the greatest of all time would be joining the
greatest of all time. Allegedly.
Arguably, I think you can say. In my opinion, look what he's done going to the Premier League, and look what Messi's done in PSG
I'll tell you, when Man U gets a trophy that's not his golden boot, you can talk.
We'll get something. We'll win something.
It ain't going to be a Carabao Cup.
No, it ain't going to be the Chupacabra Cup.
Oh, God, this is a good episode. This makes me happy. Number 5, Arsenal over under 10th place at the end of the year.
Yep.
No, y'all are crazy.
I'm going wrong.
Hello.
Are we? Explain to us why.
Hey,
since Boxing Day, no team has
since the new signings have started, 2 clean sheets. I'll take it
against Norwich and Burnley.
Yeah. Hard to win at Burnley.
And whatever. You only scored 1 goal in each of those games.
I'll need to win 1, baby.
And
That's
the
still
1
3
goal
points.
Against Norwich was dribbled over the line by Aubameyang in the most sloppiest goal I've seen. And Martin Odegaard's goal.
That was awesome.
You know what? In fairness, he had a good game, and it's a good free kick, and you got to step up there, and you got to make it. But it is the picture-perfect free kick that they show on any, FIFA 22. Dead center with the goal, about 4 yards, 5 yards back from the 16-yard box, and boom. It's like the easiest free kick to score ever. Now, he stepped up, he hit it. It was a good hit. You won. You held Burnley at Turf Moor. Okay. A better win than Norwich at home. Had you guys lost to Norwich at home, Arteta was sacked that day. I was convinced of it.
But he didn't, did he?
No. He won 1-0 and then won another 1-0. Yeah. And then you play Tottenham this week.
Yes, we do.
Does he survive the weekend?
Oh, I think even if they were to lose to Tottenham.
It depends how bad the defeat is.
Yeah,
true. They get beat 5-0 in the North London Derby.
If it's 5-0, there's going to be some hell being raised. If it's a 2-1 loss, it's not going to be nearly as bad.
Here's the problem with your prediction, though, Ron. It is still Spurs, and they get Spursy, which they have in their last couple of matches. So even if they won, I don't see a.
The Spursy argument right now, though, is you haven't finished above them in the league since when?
No, but they still get Spursy in the sense that, they could win the league this year. Oh, and they do those couple of things that ensure that they don't, and they don't quite get there. And so, they end up getting rid of folks like Pochettino and stuff.
At least people think that Tottenham has a chance.
No, they don't.
No one thinks Arsenal has a chance.
For Spurs fans think they have a chance.
Right? No, is that his name? No. Who's the guy now at
Nuno?
Nuno.
Is it him?
Yeah.
Hmm? Yeah. The old Wolves manager. First game out, comes out and beats Man City 1-0 without Harry Kane. You're like, that's a pretty damn good start.
Then barely beats the Wolves and barely beats the Watford.
What's that?
Then the next 2 matches, they barely beat the Wolves and they barely beat Watford.
I would rather take barely beating Watford in 11th and Wolves in 16th over Burnley in 19th and Norwich in 20th. So that's what Arsenal just did.
I mean, you're splitting some hairs there with the Wolves, buddy. They ain't much better.
You beat the literally the bottom 2 clubs right now, 1-0 each game. I like Arteta. He makes for a great Bond villain. New Bond coming out soon, but he's clueless. He's clueless.
Well,
And you don't have any.
Is he really clueless? Like,
He is.
Is this entirely him?
He's Like, here's the thing. Here's what I want to do. If the Premier League managers were to come down and go to the theme parks, I could easily see Arteta wearing the Thing 1 shirt and Ole wearing the Thing 2 shirt. Because they're 1 and 2 of both being clueless. Do I think Ole's this old great manager? No, I think he's actually quite shite. But I think Ole knows the club, knows tradition. He also has Mike Phelan, who sat alongside and was assistant manager to Sir Alex forever, that he can steer Ole at least in a good way. Ole had a lot more experience at the helm of a team than Arteta did. Now, Arteta sat next to Pep. That's all great, but this is his first head coach, head job. He just what is he trying to do? Can any Arsenal fan explain to me what he's trying to do? Explain to me transfer policy. Explain to me
his transfer policy was good so far. He started players that had barely been here for a few days and 2 clean sheets.
Your best player is Tobin Heath. And you can't argue it. That's the thing. Arsenal fans can't argue that.
Well, I'm not going to argue against
for the Arsenal.
I'm not going to argue against Tobin Heath, but
you can't, because she's better than anybody at the club right now.
So that's a brilliant argument, dude.
The new signings have been good so far.
Who?
Tomiyasu's fantastic. That is, he might
walk
away.
Play a whole lot. He's better than your top center back. White looks lost.
He may have been the best signing. You say that like half of one match, but the first match he was fantastic in when he came in.
He was not fantastic in that. When you lost to the Bees, he was lost.
Tomiyasu, that's going to be the surprise signing.
Tomiyasu and the who's the midfielder there?
You talking about Odegaard?
Lukongu?
Oh, Lukongu? Yeah.
He's a solid signing. He's a solid signing.
Yeah.
I do like him. Other than that, name me the 4 others that you signed.
I'd say the new goalkeeper is a step up from Leno.
God, I'm so annoyed with Arsenal. God, the single reason why I'm so annoyed with Arsenal, stop with the short sleeve keepers. Get you a long sleeve keeper for a change, and you might actually be good.
Well, he's got 2 clean sheets. So, again, you can say what you want. But Arsenal got 2 clean sheets, and Arteta's got more trophies than Ole. So,
that wasn't even with his squad. He went on the back of the guy that was there before.
But Ramsdale's turned out to be a pretty good signing. So, I mean, hey man, Tomiyasu's awesome. I think that dude is going to be really good. He's really tall for right back. He's
who else
6'4".
did you guys sign?
Oh, geez. Hold on. Let me get a list in front of me.
Odegaard was the main signing, right?
Well, I'd say Ben White, Odegaard,
Was
Ramsdale.
Maitland-Niles signing late?
No, he wasn't.
No, he just stayed.
They didn't get rid of him, yeah.
Yeah. They signed Smith Rowe to an extension, which
yes, Smith Rowe's extension.
Like
hold on, let me pull up the list in front of me.
Tierney does not look good so far this year. He's been hurt a little bit. He just has looked completely off the pace. God, who's the signings?
Nketiah? Is that how do you pronounce it? Nketiah?
No, he's been
Nketiah? Yeah. I'm trying to find my list right here. Here we go.
Because they signed like 6, but nobody knew. Like they spent the most, but I can't pass Ramsdale, Lukongu, and Tassama. Oh, and Ben White. That's 4. But who were the others?
Tommy. Why? Oh God, Sky Sports. Why are you freezing my computer?
Right? Because wasn't it like 5 or 6?
It was.
Saka,
hold on.
Saka, but he's been there for a bit.
No, hold on. No, Saka's not a signing. I got you. Oh my God, what is with the Sky Sports website? Jeez, man.
Go to the Premier League.
This is an old article. Let me just pull up their their club right now. And I can
Nuno Tavares.
Yes, Tavares,
Lukonga, Ben White, Odegaard, Ramsdale, Thomas Shishudo. How do you say his name?
I think you just said it, right? Ashudo?
Did I? I still think
who did you say?
He's the best signing you guys have
No, who are you asking about? What, no, sorry.
Yeah.
I was looking something up. Who did you ask about?
the new guy that you were just...
Oh, Tomiyasu. Japanese player that came from... I forget where he came out of. Off the top of my head. Yeah. No, he's awesome.
David Luiz finally left the damn club. You remember when Arteta signed him to 1 year and then the very next year he's gone?
Okay, so Aaron Ramsdale, Thomas Partey, Takahiro Tomiyasu are among the specialist signings brought in, as it was put. You have Odegaard that was signed
permanently.
Yeah. Partey. So, like, the setup...
Was he signed permanently?
Yeah, Partey's in.
Oh, I guess. I thought he was signed permanently last year.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, okay.
Just some of the people he'd brought in.
Yeah. Anyways.
Either way, they're still in 13th doing jack shit.
And that's about where they're probably going to
end. Yeah, but now with a fairly new-looking team. Like, you have a bunch of new signings that are playing right now.
Blake, I love the glass half full from you.
Yeah,
and they're still in 13th.
Well, but they've won the 2 games since they've really come in, all those signings.
Whoa. You scored 2 goals in 2 matches.
You're not even playing your best striker.
3 points.
Lacazette is your best striker at the club. And he never played.
Man,
oh, dude, a year ago, you were like, you guys need to offload Lacazette because he was having troubles. You can't be saying Lacazette's the best striker now.
We're at the club? 100% he's the best at the club. Aubameyang may be captain. He's not a striker. He's a left winger. Lacazette is the best number 9 you have at the club. And he never plays. God, we could have an Arsenal. That's the reason there's a thing called the Ars Block, because this is how even non-Arsenal fans can get so annoyed with them. And damn, get a long sleeve keeper. Sign somebody in the winter that actually wears long sleeves that plays in front of the old onion bag, as Tommy Smith would put it. God, it's so annoying to me. I have no clue why. I love short sleeves. We live in Florida. I've worn short sleeves my entire life. I don't like it for Arsenal. I'm sorry. Not for any club, but now you've signed like 7 in a row. You got rid of the best short sleeve in the league. You brought in a German short sleeve. Now you brought in a Sheffield short sleeve. You're just, why?
Saying a lot of new players that just started, and they started winning fast. So, hey, you can say what you want to. It's still 6 points.
Okay.
Ben White's still young.
That is true. He is young. He's 23.
He is. But I'm all said and done.
How Brighton are doing. They get rid of Ben White, and they're in 4th.
Right? That's funny. They offload him and do better.
Yeah.
Well, it is clear that you all did not pay attention to those matches because you would know how good folks like Tomiyasu are doing.
Well, Sunday at 11:30, we'll find out for sure.
Yeah, we'll see how well they do against a club like the Spurs. You never quite know who's going to show up when it comes to the Spurs. Will they get riled up for a North London derby, or will they get very Spursy? It's very likely to be a draw. That tends to be the most frequent North London derby outcome lately.
I see that in most years. This year, I don't know. I just don't know where the goals from Arsenal are going to come. That's my only.
I'm just saying, Arsenal wins the match. They're level on points with Tottenham.
God, you're a dreamer. I love it. God bless you.
Is that math wrong? Do they not have 6 points? If you prick them, do they not bleed?
Well, no, they may not be level. They also have a -7.
So there's goal differential. I said on points, level on points.
Points, yes. On points, yes. You were so specific about that.
Well, of course, it'd have to be unless they scored like 8 goals.
Yeah, they don't have enough people to score 8 goals. So,
baby, you don't need to score but one if you keep a big goose egg on the other end.
That's what you've done against Burnley and Norwich.
Yep.
Good luck against Tottenham.
Next up, the Spurs.
Okay.
You guys have a hard schedule coming up, though. You guys have Tottenham, Brighton, Crystal Palace, and Villa. But that's going to be a tough schedule for them.
Well, Villa's looking good, although really
they'll beat all of those. No, they'll lose.
Villa,
they'll lose all of those, and then beat United, Chelsea, and Liverpool on the bounce. That's how Arsenal does it.
Yep. Don't forget, we tend to beat Man United in these terrible years pretty handily. Oh God! Only Ole gets sacked after one of those. That would be.
But
beautiful.
You don't play
kicking the nuts.
You don't play Manchester United till November 30th.
Yeah, we'll know what's going on.
Right in time when like the Champions League's going to decide
Arsenal,
if Ole and
Arsenal's already beaten Tottenham once this season. We just got to do it again.
Have you?
Yeah, Patrick Vieira, man, he knows how to beat those guys.
That's fair enough.
I loved it.
That's fair enough.
I loved it when they lost to Crystal Palace, when the people were like, Patrick Vieira still remembers how to beat the Spurs.
Fair enough.
To which my then thought was, God, if they do sack Arteta within the next month or two, they're going to try to get Vieira, aren't they? Because he's having a good few weeks.
Oh my God, no.
Too funny.
The blind, eating the blind again.
Hey man, gotta trust the process.
I'll keep saying that. That's process. Yeah. Look what the 76ers did with trust the process. They're getting ready to trade Ben Simmons.
God, just trust the process, man. Trust the process.
Yep, you guys been trusting the process for years, and you still suck.
And it's you guys bashed on Wenger for getting in the Champions League. We're tired of finishing fourth. You guys haven't finished in fourth since he left the club, I don't think. Like that's well now and in fairness, Wenger's also a proponent of having a World Cup every 2 years.
Did you read though? He actually it made sense if you read it. Like it wasn't any more games.
You're going to kill the players. I don't. You got to throw Euros in there somewhere. You got to throw qualifying games in there somewhere. I don't know. Anyways,
hey, look, if Wenger says it, it's a good idea.
If you say so,
just got to do it. Just got to do it.
I think that wraps us up for a little EPL this week.
Does that get us to the La Ligas?
The Liga's roundup.
All right, so we can wrap up this episode and be one episode closer to Ferris drinking a Moo Thunder.
Hey, you know what? This is still a win-win for me, so who cares?
That's true. You still sit there without a single. All right, well, the Liga's roundup.
God, I can't believe that you threw that out. I had that in my back pocket.
Munich sit at the top of the Bundesliga table after match day. We're in the middle of like 5 and 6 at the moment. All is right in Germany, apparently, as a defending champ, sits 16 points atop of the table with a plus 18 goal difference.
Ooh.
They are, of course, led by their number 9, Robert Lewandowski, who already has 7 goals on the season.
Only 7
right now.
Is he okay? It's only 7. Is he okay?
Only that's true. That's very, very true. Now, while Bayern have played one more game as of this date, they are only 3 points ahead of VfL Wolfsburg, who only sit with a plus 5 goal difference. So quite a big gap from plus 5 to plus 18th. And then you have Borussia Dortmund currently sitting third on 12 points, but they do have the leading goal scorer in the league with Erling Haaland. The Wonder Kid has 7 goals, same as Lewandowski, but Haaland does have 3 assists, so that puts him slightly above Bayern's leading man. And then finally, to round out the top 4 over in Germany, you got Bayern Leverkusen, who sit in 4th. Now, would you looky there?
The way you've written these crack me up. Would you looky
Napoli
there?
sit atop of the Serie A table. Yes, you heard that right. Napoli.
Yep.
Sit in first on 15 points, with the Milans, Inter Milan sitting in second, and AC Milan sitting in third, along with Jose Mourinho's AS Roma, who sit in fourth. Notice how across that entire time, Juve weren't mentioned. You would then have to go down the table quite a bit before Juve's even mentioned.
They're in like 12th.
As they currently are doing their best Arsenal imitation, and they sit in 12th with only one win on the season on 5 points with a -1 goal difference. That Ronaldo guy wasn't half bad.
I mean,
so was he carrying that whole team, or did they hemorrhage players?
Who else? I mean,
Juve.
There wasn't. They brought in Chiesa, who did well in the Euros, but they have Morata up front.
I mean, are Barcelona's and Juve's like literally only existing for one player? Is the whole team's?
But you look at the teams where Ronaldo has been. He's like the Tom Brady effect.
Oh God, I hate him more now. That's how you kind of compare it.
100%. Both of the
gross.
Goats. Both of the goats.
Gross.
Look at the confidence that is brought into the teams. Now look at them. So now we're only 5-6 games in the Serie A, so it's still a long year. But for Juve to be down in 12th with only removing really one big piece, your defense is still there, your goaltending's still there, your midfield was never really great to speak of, but they're still there. You just don't have a potent threat. You don't have a confidence, in the squad. So there we go. Now, well, would you looky there? A Messi-less Barcelona sit in 7th after, again, 5 or 6 matches played in La Liga. Barca in 7th. Now, they have played one less game than the 6 out of the 7 clubs that are above them, but I guess that Messi character ain't too bad either. So on the back of what we're just talking about here, you take those 2 of the arguably best to ever play the game out of their teams. They're not terrible. They're neither team is going to completely go into administration, or they're not going to go down, but they're nowhere near the teams that they were, and that's kind of evident.
They're not a Wayne Rooney club. They're not going to go into administration.
Which he didn't have a whole lot to do with that, but
it didn't.
That's a bad situation.
Darby is woof. That's a rough situation.
Yes, that is a rough situation. They can go into obscurity real quick.
Just lost 12 points too, right?
Wait,
12
who?
points.
Darby.
The Derby County.
No, my point was obscurity.
Yeah.
Last teams to do that, you look at your Portsmouths, your Sunderlands, it could get bad.
Guys, we may be able to purchase in on an English club soon. I'm just saying. Brutal games.
If Ryan Reynolds can buy a club that nobody's ever heard of, even in England, then I don't think we're anywhere near buying a club.
We just got to make some scarves, sell a couple hundred, we'll put a down payment down on a club.
Yep.
Now just pay with everything with Bitcoin and Dogecoin, and then you're good to go. Speaking of real, the Real talking point at the moment is how Real Madrid currently sit in first, the top of the table. But more exclusively than that, it's Karim Benzema who is the main talking point in the league and, frankly, around the world at the moment. He is arguably the most informed striker in the world. He's currently leading the line there with 8 goals and 7 assists. That is better and trumps than what we were just talking about in Germany with Lewandowski and Haaland 7 apiece. That's a pretty incredible, after 5 games, that's nasty. Now, if you remember, Ronaldo wasn't there last, but was there a few seasons ago. Real really haven't dropped too much. They haven't brought in the likes of who they are used to bringing in, the Galacticos, as you will, which is why the Super League last year and yada. But what Benzema is doing right now is absolutely awesome. Real Madrid sit 2 points up on their rivals as defending champs Atletico Madrid, sit in second, only a few points behind, while Real Sociedad and Sevilla round out the top 4 in Spain.
You mentioned it, so I'll say it, especially these last 2 leagues that you mentioned. it's pretty obvious why those clubs were pushing for that Super League for money, because that is
Yep.
European football in 5 years. It could be very different in some of these spots.
And do you think that ESPN knew when they signed the La Liga deal that Ronaldo and Messi wouldn't be there any longer?
Nope.
I mean, maybe Ronaldo, but
That's
definitely not Messi.
That's rough.
So
yeah, now they're just taking a bath on the ratings.
Mm-hmm. Well, would you looky there if it is PSG who sit atop of the now Elton John and Little Nas Uber Eats League on a table. Have you seen that commercial yet?
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Brilliant.
The only thing to follow up Sir Patrick Stewart, Mark Hamill,
Exactly.
Sir Elton John, and Lil Nas. I think you still have a night in both of them, but
yeah, it's crazy. They sit safely atop the table at 21 points, but contrary to popular thinking, it's not via the route of Lionel Messi. He has only appeared twice for the club after 7 matches in the league and has recorded 0 goals and 0 assists.
What an investment.
And last weekend, he was even subbed off during his home debut against Olympic Lyonnais in the 76th minute. He did not look too happy as he walked off the pitch.
Of course, he's used to getting his way and playing, and everyone thinking he's the best thing that's ever graced the field. So of course he doesn't want to be subbed off.
Well, he turned down that Man City offer. He should have taken them off when he might have played.
I don't think that was ever actually on the table, but it's you can question Pochettino's decision to do that, but in the end, the 2 players that he subbed on, Icardi and Hakimi subbed on for Messi technically, but you put on Icardi, who's a goal scorer. He's the one that scored the game-winning goal in the 93rd minute. So does this gets played because Messi came off, didn't shake his hand, and looked a little pissed? Pochettino, you don't really hear a whole lot about that because he made a sub that won the game. So
yeah, no one's coming after him about it.
No, it's more of just about how now Messi didn't handle it terribly. He didn't kick over a water bottle or throw his shirt or anything like that. He just was like, "This is what the f-? I'm not used to this." Anyways, it's not all rainbows and butterflies for the Messi chapter in Paris. As yes, they are first, but off to a little rocky start. Even in the Champions League, it was the first time we saw Mbappe, Messi, and Neymar all starting up top. They only managed a 1-1 draw.
Thrilling.
So, it's not entirely great. Between that, though, and I don't know if you guys seen in the past few weeks, multiple matches, fans have stormed the pitch. The first back in August on the 22nd in the Nice and Marseille game, and then most recently last weekend with Lens and Lille, fans stormed the pitch. So I kind of wish they had signed the ESPN Plus deal because those games seem a hell of a lot more interesting at the moment. And that concludes the La Liga's Roundup.
Nope, I think you've retitled it. It's the Looky Here La Liga's Roundup.
Well, would you looky here?
The La Liga's
I typed it for
Roundup.
the first, and then I was like, I'm just going to carry it through.
No, I like it.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's all it's such a, as everything comes out on the other end of all the COVID stuff, and you've actually got fans in the stadium and everything. It's just it's all interesting seeing how this stuff's panning out, how what clubs are completely different than they were even just months ago.
Yep.
100%.
It's insane. And entertaining.
Yeah, it is. And you know what? Speaking of, I know ESPN might be happy at Messi not being there and stuff, but man, it's so much easier to watch everything now. We got a lot of access to the matches.
They're
now.
just kind of all over this place. They have the subscription there and the subscription there.
Yeah, it's a little all over the place, but
cut the cord. That's what happens.
Still, you cut the cord. And well, the thing is, like, I'd rather pay what I used to pay for cable, but actually pay for things I watch instead of paying for cable and get like 300 channels I don't watch. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I look at it. Wrong. So agreed. I don't even doesn't even bother me. Very curious though, because Premier League's contract is actually up after this season.
And they may not resign.
And don't forget, Amazon actually does it in the UK and did a good job of it during COVID. People couldn't go to the matches and stuff. So there's some big question about who's going to throw down the money, because instead of offering just a renewal conversation, right, the Premier League has opened it up saying they want to see people bid on it. So
I think you keep it with NBC and what they've built. I don't think CBS's coverage of the Champions League is particularly great.
But NBC's not in a good spot for negotiation, though. They just got to do, that's the thing. The power is all in the Premier League in this situation.
Especially with a lot of the debacle of the Peacock stuff. When you're just showing games on Peacock, you're making it more exclusive. You had your issues that first weekend after the return of the games from international break, where a lot of users, they had to switch to NBC Sports.
Yeah, I did that for the Arsenal match, actually. Yeah.
I tell you what, though, we are very fortunate to live in the U.S. and not in England when it comes to watching Premier League.
Oh, yeah.
It's way harder there.
Way harder.
You
if
could
you
not
do it, it's expensive.
Yes, you could only watch the Ronaldo match, return to Old Trafford, if you were in the stadium in England.
Yeah.
Other than that, it wasn't a televised game at all.
No.
You can only hear it on BBC Five Live, or if you were outside of the
I love the NBC coverage and punditry. I like Rebecca Lowe and stuff. So I will see what happens, but I just know...
I think they are a huge part of why the game has grown massively in this country.
Too. Their fan.
I just beg that if you decide to jump ship from NBC Sports, that where you go is better than NBC Sports, and you don't make it worse.
Well, because one thing NBC has done that was so good were those, prior to COVID, obviously, were those fan meetups. When they would go around the country and
Ted Lasso.
Yeah.
Yep.
That show just won a crap ton of amazing. It was because of a skit that they did to promote the Premier League.
Yep. Oh, there's a new episode. I haven't watched it
fantastic.
yet.
Too bad they didn't make the show instead of the Apple.
Why was it? Maybe I'm out of touch because I'm not really involved in Western news as much. But why was everybody so upset about the Beard episode last week?
I don't know. I haven't seen that
awesome.
one, so don't say no. That's enough. Blake hasn't watched that one yet.
I got to get to that one.
You
haven't watched it yet?
Yeah, I got to get that one.
That's good.
That's actually.
I thought it was great.
That's actually what
I get a lot of people saying it, so I put it on like my Instagram story where you can vote for it.
Yeah.
And the people that liked it only beat out the people that didn't by one vote. I was like, wow, really?
I thought it was great. I just like that they continue to add depth to all the characters, not just one or two.
Yeah, man. Well, that's what makes shows like that, or any good show, right? Like last for a long time. Battlestar Galactica, for example. Do we want to go there? Because we can talk for the next hour about the new episode.
No, we don't.
Okay, sure.
We've already returned to the podcast ears for far too long at this point.
All right. Well, this will wrap up our episode. One thing I was going to try to get in the habit of doing, just as a reminder, what did we drink? I had a Three Daughters Oktoberfest. Ron, what was it you had again before we?
I had a Flying Monkeys hazy IPA.
Boom. And Ferris?
I had a Big Storm Cat 3 Belgium triple, part of the Belgium series.
You did. I'm trying to get better about that for some folks who asked about some of the beer and stuff, to get a reminder toward the end of the episode of what it is we had tried.
And we will also do our best to put it on Untapped. We have not always done that. Put all three of our beers now on Untapped.
Sometimes I will be like, oh, this was 2 days later, but here it is. So if you want to follow us on thebrutalgame.com, Untapped, as Ferris has mentioned, is really the best way to interact with us as far as checking all the different beers and stuff. While Ron is up in Canada, the feed is going to go from Chinese beers to Canadian beers for a little while. And Twitter, and then also on Instagram. We exist on other places, but that's really the majority of where we reach out and contact folks, or are more active. Gentlemen, you guys got anything else?
That's it.
All right. You didn't let me get my nerdy Battlestar Galactica talk in, but
It's all right.
and
We'll save it for the new pod.
Well, I wanted to get a little nerdy because I didn't do a Star Wars reference in this episode. Didn't do anything. I don't even think there was a Christmas Vacation reference, although I may have thrown one out without even realizing at this point. But my little kiddo, she is super into the Ninja Turtles, and we were watching, or they announced they're doing a new Ninja Turtle movie, not with all the Michael Bay stuff that I'm stoked about, but the Ninja Turtles, to me, like, I don't know what you guys remember as kids. I'm weirded out by it because they're supposed to have children. And that totally breaks canon because in the original stories, the Ninja Turtles never had children because while the mutagen granted them sentience, it also gave each of them reptile dysfunction.
Man, that was over the river and through the woods.
It took about an hour to get there.
Worth the trip.
I mean, I'll give you props for that one. It was terrible, but the setup was quite well done.
I give a shout out to at Comic Book Yeti on Twitter for that one. Got that from them. That was a very, very good one. I saw that and was like, I'm just gonna put this away in the Beautiful Game folder. That's right. I now have an ongoing folder of dad jokes that I go, oh, that's a good one, and I sling it in
Game dad jokes.
All right, gentlemen. Well, it was a pleasure, Ron. It's good to have you back on the hemisphere with us, man.
Absolutely.
And shortly we'll all be hanging out together. So, all right, gentlemen. Love the beer. Cherish the game. The Brutiful Game. Cheers. London is red. London is red.